Hello you wonderful people, my name is Gnome and welcome back to another episode of the Gamesician, but this time I'm going to do something that everyone loves. A top 10 list! It's going to be the top 10 NES Soundtracks. Here is a few things to keep in mind. These are a mixture of my opinions as well as some that I found on a few different sites. So I'm prepared to hear the backlash if your favorite game doesn't make it on the list. If it didn't, let me know what you think should have made it on instead. Also, there's only really one rule for this list, and it's one game per franchise. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Number 10. If you viewed my Gamesician episode on Tetris, you should have seen this one coming from a mile away. If you haven't, go watch it after this. Since I already talked about the soundtrack in detail, I won't spend too much time on this one. I mean, some of the tracks contain Russian culture within them, and then the other ones don't. Super catchy tunes to keep you in this highly addictive game. That's why Tetris earns a spot at number 10. Number 9. The Heroes and a Half show have had plenty of games come out. This one was maybe not the greatest. I preferred the arcade-style beat-em-up games instead, but this one still filled me with a tad bit of nostalgia. Jun Funahishi made a great soundtrack for a subpar game. With the fast-paced tracks keeping you in the groove, you almost don't even care if you die. And keyword, almost. Alongside its fast-paced tracks, there were some smooth tracks to lighten up the mood for you, attempting to make it less likely that you'll break your controller in frustration, since this game cheats all the time. Number 8. While the first Castlevania had some sweet music, the second game took what made the first so great and made it even better. It had some more horror bits into the music alongside very fast-paced action for a challenging but fun adventure game. Walking through the swamps, forests, and, you guessed it, castles, while fighting monsters along the way to this soundtrack in tow makes it much more immersive. Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest earns its rightful place at number 8. Number 7. Man, everyone's gonna be really salty about this. Okay, look, let me explain myself. The original Legend of Zelda is a masterpiece. In fact, it's one of the greatest NES games of all time. But, with as good as it is, I've always preferred this one and its soundtrack to that of the first game. Besides the overall mechanics, I feel the music is just amazing. We got remixed overworld music, the Peaceful Village theme, and the extremely epic Palace track. It's so epic it's even been featured in every Super Smash Bros. Since Melee. Don't hate on the soundcast of a game. Number 6. Of course, Contra makes it on the list. While I know that Contra is on plenty of NES soundtrack lists, it's well deserved. But that's the reason why it didn't rank higher on my list. We all know how good the music just is. Konami was a powerhouse in their heyday with the great titles that they were coming up with great music. Not so much now. Since they just seem to keep messing things up. Now that I mention it though, I have 3 Konami titles on this list. Alright, Konami, you're flagged. Number 5. One of my favorite series of all time. While I know the series hasn't been as great as it once was, we do have to remember of all the good games that exist within it. Even with as basic and bare bones as this game was, it was able to spawn some of the greatest titles ever released. Nobuo Uematsu is a musical genius that has made the Final Fantasy series even greater with his compositions at the helm. When the grinding gets rough, at least the music will help you get past all of it.
Number 4.
Sweet Mother. Taken from the Dragon Quest series, Mother and its successors have made a great impact on the gaming world. Instead of swords, armor, and dragons, you had baseball bats, hats, and hippies. While we didn't get an official worldwide release until June 14th of 2015, many folks were able to enjoy this game with translated reproduction carts or ROMs. Besides being a great JRPG, it has a slammin' soundtrack to go along with it. It helps make you feel happy, scared, and sometimes very sad. It's good when a game can make you feel several ways while playing. That's just how you know it's a great game.
Number 3.
The loneliness of space in video games was truly captured with the release of Metroid. It's about as close as we had to Alien in video game form besides the other, games that were made for Alien. Samus had a fantastic introduction with Metroid. When this game is blasting action-packed music, it tends to deliver eerie music and effects in order to provide you with a sense of desperation. While your task may seem simple, going through Brinstar to make it to Mother Brain can be a treacherous journey. Luckily, during your adventure, you'll have plenty of great music to keep you going. Hirokazu Tanaka made so many great soundtracks, and this is one of them.
Number 2.
As far as I remember, Blaster Master was one of the first running gun games I've ever played. Sunsoft was known for making great games that also had great soundtracks. Out of all of them, this is the one that stood out to me the most. For some reason, you chase your frog down a hole and find a suit and a tank so you can go find him. That seems like a lot of work just for a frog. While driving around in your jumping tank, you were introduced by a surprising amount of light-hearted tunes. During the times when music wasn't so peaceful or easygoing, you had epic beats bouncing in your ears as you fight the strange creatures that existed in this world. So, before we get into the game of the hour, or at least of this top 10, here are a few games that I felt were worth a mention with the great soundtracks. Most of you may have seen this coming from a mile away. The fact that I hadn't included one at all until now should have been a dead giveaway. While I know that Mega Man 2 is pretty much the favorite among a lot of fans for the series, there's a great reason for that. The gameplay from the first game was perfected with this one. Not only that, but the bosses were fantastic and the levels flowed extraordinarily well. The last factor, of course, is the music. When talking about this series, it seems as though the main song that people bring up is Dr. Wily's theme. Understandably so, as the song is excellent. I even have it as my ringtone while my bosses call me. Of course though, not only Wily's stage had good music. Every single boss had a great song to go with their level. The most notable to me would have had to be Metal Man's stage. When treading through the stages in order to fight the Battle Doctor, these tunes are a pleasure to listen to, and that's why Mega Man 2 earns the first place spot. Well, I hope you at least semi-enjoyed this list. I'm certain that I didn't cover your favorite soundtrack, so if I didn't, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you enjoyed this top 10. I don't know how many of these I'll end up doing through my time on YouTube, but I'd still like to know what you think. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and peace out, Girl Scouts!